how's it going? This is the Bald and Short of It podcast. I am James P. White. That is Chris Mooney. I am short. He is bald. We are at Sherbrooke Pub and we are hanging out tonight. And yes, in case you didn't notice, I may have been drinking. And the good news is shit's about to get weird. So as we always start on our podcast, we always start with what's happened this week. Mooney, my buddy Chris Mooney, he is the bald guy. Show your head. You always
Oh,
have to show your head, not your hand, your head. Perfect. Okay, Mooney, let's talk about your week.
all right. Uh, I don't usually like to. I know that you probably lived a life whereby you have to manage expectations, but why start? Why start at the bottom? If you've had a couple beers, hey, maybe I can pull it off. I don't have to tell everybody and wait for them. Like, you know, it's better to leave them guessing. You're a pro.
What, what, guessing that you're bald? You're the only one wearing a hat.
You know about the drinking. All I'm saying.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I just like to let people know what, what's coming up.
Yeah, and anybody who's a regular visitor of our thing knows that we're not teetotalers, so it's all good. Anyway, uh, my week was fantabulous. It was, uh, yeah, like I'm not sure. Like we talked. Oh, we put the boat in the water. Or sorry, we took the boat out of the water. You guys might anybody who's like listening, you might notice that I look over there now because that's where Jimmy is. But anyways, uh, yeah, since our last podcast, Jimmy and I put my boat to bed for the summer or for the winter, I mean, and had to tie it down and all the stuff and winterize the motor, and it's as complicated as it might sound to those of you who are not seafaring people. It's really wasn't that difficult, or it shouldn't have been, but we can get into that later. Uh, I, I didn't invite Jimmy to help. I didn't I didn't
Hey,
invite
dude,
Jimmy to help me.
dude, dude, shit. I'm sorry.
You don't have to
My
apologize. I didn't
my
expect you
ass
to
got
do
stuck
anything.
in the ladder. Like,
Okay, I'm going to talk about that now. That's
yeah,
the thing
do
that
it.
happened. So Jimmy, there really isn't much for anyone to do, and I didn't bring Jimmy out to help. I didn't expect him to help me or anything like that. Maybe he made it worse by coming across like he wanted to. I don't know, but
I, I tried to help, but my arms
I
weren't
know.
long enough to snap the things,
Well,
and
okay,
then
yeah, and yeah, go on.
because I couldn't reach the snap, like the tarp down, and but I actually told you, I'm like, dude, I can't reach that, and and at the time I thought you understood, but
Yeah, it actually took me longer to figure that out. Because I was Jimmy's like, yeah, I can't do it, and I'm like, what are you fucking lazy? Like, I never said that,
it's
but I was like, it can't be that much of a reach because when you put a cover on a boat, like you're in the boat while you do it, and you snap it from the inside all around the outside. But we're not talking about a 2 foot drop from the buttons that you snap in.
it's a foot and a half, and my arms aren't that long.
Anyway,
I was reaching with my fingertips. You don't have enough, like, reach with your fingertips.
anyway, I he's right, and like I said, that was just my first impression. And so basically, rather than one guy does half the boat, the other guy does the other, I did all of it. But I'm not complaining because I didn't bring Jimmy out. I brought Jimmy out for companionship. more so than any kind of, like, help me. I'm not gonna ask you to be my guest on my boat and make you do anything. So it wasn't a big deal. Having said that, um, when the buttoning process was completed, like, I thought maybe Jimmy felt bad about not being able to snap the things in on the outside. So, and I did all that. It was it was at the end where I made a critical mistake because I thought, well, I'll do the front of the boat. That's where there's a like a ladder on the trailer that you're attached to. Like, we're above ground. We're about 8 feet above ground on the trailers in the boat, buttoning it up before it gets put away for the season. And I thought, okay, well, at least Jimmy can throw me the flap so that I can button down the other stuff and he can get off at the end. So I got off first, and I said to Jimmy, you know, hey fella, like, well, you just come off after and just hand me this, hand me that. And he did. And then he's like, how do I get off? I'm like, well, there's a ladder.
The
Like,
ladder
it, it,
was
it
the ladder was 3 feet from the end of the boat. Then I go there and I try to climb down that frickin' ladder, and my ass got stuck in between the the edges of the ladder. And I'm like, okay, you need to like make sure that I don't fall down. And then I'm climbing down. He goes, a step, a step, a step. And I'm like, okay, so where's the end of it? And he goes, okay, jump. I'm like, how far is it? And it was only a foot, but it felt like six. Like my ass got stuck in between the edges of the ladder.
it was it was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. Um, like,
Uh,
but hang on. If there's anything that can be said for me is that, like, I'm not racist against midgets because, like, I just
no,
assume.
it's not called racism. It's called heightism. But
All right, I'm
okay,
not heightist
I
heightist
digress.
heightist against midgets, but um, there is, after, I didn't expect his ass to get caught in anything, but it somehow did
Okay,
because you have to walk
okay,
through.
so let me make a long story short. So the moral of the story is, if you want to winterize a boat and tarp it, don't bring a midget.
Well, I'm gonna just I tell you something that I don't think I told you, was the fella at the marina that took us out of the water and put us, like, he didn't put us where he's gonna park my boat all winter because the tires on my trailer were lower. So he put me right by this kind of clubhouse area where they have tools and shit. And when Jimmy got stuck in the gap there to
Oh,
get
are
out of the
you
ladder,
talking about the four fucking ladders that were
yeah,
there that you could have
I saw
just that
ladders.
you
I saw
that
ladders.
that you could that you could have just left? Hey,
I saw
Jimmy, climb on
ladders.
the ladder
I saw
like a
ladders, and I'm
normal
like,
ladder. They even had a
it
six
was
foot
just, it
ladder
was so
that
fucking
would have
funny.
worked.
It was so funny. I'm like, nah, fuck it. I'm not gonna tell him about the ladders. Do you
Uh,
want me to bring you a ladder? Nope. No, I wanna see how this plays out.
you didn't even give me the offer. I saw them and I'm like, will that work? And we came down and then I saw the 6 foot that would have worked.
I
You,
had faith in you. I had faith in you. I was a good person,
I,
like
I
normal.
actually, I actually lost faith in you. Like,
On this podcast, like anybody who's new to the show, I'm the good person, and I wanted Jimmy to do it himself. So,
I, on, on, on a different note, okay, Jimmy's peeing.
oh, okay,
We're at a bar. We're at Sherbrooke
yeah.
pub.
So,
I drank a lot of beer.
yeah, so did I. You don't see me run to the bathroom every, like, fucking 5 minutes. So, but
But
to
but
each their own.
you're a fat guy. I'm a midget. Like our bladders are smaller than this.
If our organs were different sizes, then Why is your head so big? However, it worked out. We got the boat out. It wasn't really a big deal, and we had the great opportunity, which like unfortunately is only reserved for summer because he goes to Wobman in the winter. Besides the people that live in, it's actually a village, so there isn't a lot of people there. So they double their population, maybe triple in the summer. But we made it back to our favorite, one of our favorite drinking holes, our saloons, the Wobman Hotel Pub, and yeah, I think we were both hungover that day, and that's why we didn't really get after it. We had like in all the time that I've known you, Jimmy, I'm looking at you. Um, in all the time that I've known you, when have we ever gone to a saloon and had one beer? We had one beer, didn't we?
We we had we had one beer and we were fighting to finish it.
Yeah,
It was a bad day.
yeah,
It's a bad day in the alcoholic universe. I pride myself on my alcoholism, and the fact that the day before I drank a really cheap beer, and I drank a lot of, believe you me, but the hangover I had, like it's I've never hated life after drinking, but that day I did. And and the thing is sometimes cheap beer is good, but
yeah,
except the day after,
yeah. So
and that was one of them.
yeah, so like for my part, I our friend of the podcast, Mike Barak and me, Mike Barak and I went to the fraternity house, and um, that was after we did our
The
podcast.
decals.
Yeah, the decos. We went to the decos after we did our podcast. So I might have had anybody who watched our last podcast, I might have had a little bit to drink. And then I went to the fraternity house, and there were some rituals that needed to be performed and whatnot. And because these are university fellas, and we, particularly when we were rushing, we want to bring beer. We brought beer, so I drank beer.
And there was beers drank, and there was people hung over,
Yeah, yeah,
and that was actually one of the first times in probably about 5 years that I had a hangover that I hated life. And then I got stuck with my ass in a ladder on a boat.
you're a little traumatized. So you kind of,
Like you had to manipulate my ass to get it out of the boat. Like it, and
yeah.
then
For the record, I didn't enjoy that.
I think you were laughing the whole time. Um, and then, then finally we get to the last step, and I'm like, okay, how far is it to the floor? He goes, it's not far. And I thought it was like a foot or 2 feet, but it was only half a foot. But like,
You know what I
like
want
I
to
got
do?
stuck in a boat. Like,
Like one of the things that I'm loving about this episode is that we can see each other when we're mucking off. But when I look at you on the screen, like we're both looking, like the way it presents is you're looking one way, I'm looking the other way. So I'm gonna log out, I'm gonna log back in, and you're gonna be the guy on the left, and I'm gonna be the guy on the right. And I think when we look at each other, you know what I'm saying?
oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this isn't okay. We'll mark
No,
it as a
we're
glitch.
not stopping it. We're not stopping it. I'm gonna log off and I'm gonna log right back on.
Okay, so we're not cutting this out. Okay, so we're trying to look at each other. I just so you know, I didn't really want to look at it, but since we're kind of in the same room, Hey, speaking of that, I'm moving in with Mooney uh, when his wife goes away in next week, and we are actually going to do a special edition uh, Balding Short of It podcast on Saturday, hopefully. Um, no, let's do it Thursday of
Thursday.
of next week. We'll do a special edition where we're in the same room in your house.
Roommates edition.
We're the roommate edition.
We should do it on the Friday because we'll have some mileage. Like I want to talk about how shitty I expect it will be.
And how much your cat likes me more than you. I know,
It's
you
not
know.
my cat. It's Andrew's cat. I have
No,
no.
it's the family cat.
It's not a family cat. It's the roommate. It's a roommate. It's we bounce each other in the halls, and we don't we make it work. There's no affection. So
Okay,
yeah.
don't be a hater.
I like this better, eh? Because now like if you look, I'm looking at you, right? Like
Actually, we are actually looking at each other.
yeah, because before we were looking the other way. It was counterintuitive.
And okay, okay, I have to bring something up, and I only noticed this on a podcast. Is the gray line in my hair right here? It actually bugs me. The gray line right there. It's like I'm a skunk, but a midget.
When you said that, that was the first time this episode where you validated for our audience that you're drinking. No one cares
What?
about. I didn't even know there was a line there. Like, so you want me to leave and you can talk about all.
Wow. So we talked about our hangover. Let's go into
Yeah.
my week now that we're done with yours, which is half the podcast.
Hang on, no. Before
Oh,
before we
oh, you're
do,
not done yet.
we had a wonderful night again at Julian's, and I don't worry, I'm not going to stretch it out, but um, like how great they take care of us over there, and I was there with Jimmy, and we were met by first timer friend of the podcast, Mike Barak, and then Johnny came by, and Jimmy had to leave.
Yes, and to do an online movie group, which I'm part of, which
Yep.
is we call it the Bad Movie Club, and I freaking love those guys. Like the Bad Movie Club actually started, so it has to be bad movies, but it started during COVID when we weren't allowed to leave our house, and
Yeah.
especially for people that lived by themselves and and you felt like an alcoholic if you're just drinking in your living room by yourself watching a movie. It makes more sense to, you're less of an alcoholic if you drink yourself to, passing out in the living room with other friends who are on Zoom. It justifies it a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
know if it does. I don't know if it does, but in my mind, it did. But, but yeah, like, it's a group and my, it was Diener, like Diener from Foo Bar. It was Diener, 1989.
Is
And,
Diener? Oh, the show you watched.
was the movie we watched, but
Okay, hey, do you
but
mind
Diener,
before you get into depth about your fucking shitty movie club? Like, um,
you brought it up.
okay, no, but you elaborated. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that like the redeeming quality of what you just said is that like COVID was a shitty and demoralizing and divisive time for so many of us, and you found a group of people that you guys that helped each other through it, basically, which I think is really cool. What's even cooler is the fact that you guys still stay in touch because it's like now my question is like is it just like regular friends of yours and you guys do this weekly or is it just like a bunch of like jerkies that you found online and like
No, no,
you fucking
these.
read it you can read it sub.
No, okay, no, no, stop there. Please
All
stop
right,
there.
okay,
Okay,
I don't
no,
know.
no, no.
I'm asking for
This.
elaboration. That's it.
Okay, okay. So this is a group that where some of them are out of city, out of province, even out of country. Um, and we all get online and we watch movies together. We drink, we talk, we have a good time,
Like
and
during the movie.
like we do chat a little bit during the movie. Like, go, how bad is this? Like, especially when you're watching a movie where the whole movie was, I can't even remember the name of it, but it was a water slide. Like, so this family took over a water slide and everybody that slid down the slide got cut down by razor wire because because the stepmom didn't.
Immigrants.
No, no, the the stepmom wanted to shut it down to sell the property, so she put razor wire. We're cutting people in half. Like, it was, I can't remember what the movie was. It was like Razor Slide or something. I I digress. But
But how do you know these people? Like, did you know them before COVID? Like, what was the
I
genesis of
met
this
I
group?
like I knew some of them before COVID, and then then they brought me into the group. And then I met everybody else from there, and we became really good. Like, COVID was 2 years.
I know. Hang on,
It
like
was
you
2 years.
don't keep looking at me because like
I'm
it's gonna
trying.
confuse me.
Sorry, I'm trying.
It's gonna yeah, make it easier for you and it's gonna confuse you with the talking. But I gotta tell you, like, um, I have like buddies that we used to have like kind of music things where we would hang out and listen to music and everyone take turn and we'd have a drink during COVID. I feel like such a fool for having done that for a lot of reasons that we won't get into. But I mean, like, if the premise of your hang is like shitty movies and going online and doing that, it's like we're doing this because we have to, because of COVID or whatever.
No,
And
no,
it's like
but
now that
we
COVID's over, like, oh, did you guys meet before COVID?
no. Okay,
Okay,
no, no,
okay.
no,
Let me finish my point then. COVID's over. You can do a podcast with Mooney at Sherbrooke. You can hang out at Julian's with the fellas. You're like, I have to do the COVID thing.
no,
Sorry, I can't hang out,
no,
boys,
no,
but I have to do the
so-
COVID thing.
no. Okay, cut that down. No, it wasn't that. It was because a lot of people, like, there was half the people in the group were in Edmonton. There was some in Calgary, some in, like, the States, and at least every 2 weeks we get together and we watch a movie. And it's the same group, and it's it's a bond that we had when shit got weird. We don't want to lose it when it's easier now. You know
Oh,
what I
that's
mean?
awesome. I love that. Do you guys meet weekly or is it once a month?
It's every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks? Do you ever like pick a bar and just meet in person?
We have, usually for Christmas, for a gift exchange, which is usually a $2.
You guys, hang on a minute. You do a gift exchange with your shitty movie COVID club?
Okay, Okay, we
How
have to.
long have I known you? We never done a gift exchange.
But okay, so
This feels like a Far Side, like fucking.
okay, so this is where I pull in on a different note. Um, let's talk about sports for the week.
Clayton was happy that he met the group during COVID.
Okay, Mo- Mooney, do sports in 2 minutes. Go.
Hang on, I can't yet because I had the privilege of attending a wedding on Saturday. Oh, actually, I didn't even. So Friday after Jimmy left, um,
So, dude, we're in a totally different week. Like we already went through your week.
well, no, my week had other aspects too. So what? No, I'm just saying the Friday we got distracted by your COVID movie, Far Side COVID movie club,
Uh,
and
we're doing a
and
podcast.
anyways,
The two
Jimmy's
of
being
us. We're
accosted.
doing a podcast.
Jimmy's being accosted. Anyways,
Is that uh,
anyway, getting getting back to my point is after Jimmy went to the thing with the guys in the Far Side, shitty. It's not even good movies. You don't even talk about. You're like, let's watch a John Wayne. I'm part of this John Wayne movie club. Like that would be more thing than shitty movies. Let's waste 2 hours together because we did it during COVID. Sorry, no offense.
okay, Mooney?
Yeah. So, anyways, after you did your thing and left, we went to Sherbrooke, and a couple other fellows met us here, and we just had a wonderful night. It was fantastic. Um, Mike Darac, friend of the podcast, was there. Ruben, friend of the podcast, was there, and Tony and Mo, and we had a great evening. Saturday was a wedding at Rutherford House at University of Alberta campus. It was Jody and Carmen's long-awaited nuptials that were disrupted by various things, and amongst which included COVID. But they decided to get out of the house and actually get married. Um, and we went to Rutherford House for the wedding, and it was absolutely wonderful. I've never been to Rutherford House on campus. It's on Saskatchewan Drive, um, just east of the Turtle, which we all know as like the Tory Lecture Hall. And I met people there that were like university graduates, like 10 years older than me. And they're like, I've never been in here. I'm like, yeah, I've driven by it like hundreds of times. And I'm going to tell you that it was really not much to talk about. It reminded me of the fraternity house I grew up in that we tore down to build the new one with all the wood. There's so much wood and like dark paint and shit. And I'm like, you wouldn't do well here if you're a fellow with depression. Having said that, the wedding was fantastic. Jody and Carmen are amongst the nicest people you ever meet. Jimmy, you met them both, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was I shout out to them, long awaited, and we're just so happy for the both of them. That was my week. I'm done. Off you go.
because we'll do it. We'll do as we normally do. Well, I'll finish. Like I'll get it started, and then I'll finish my week, and then we'll probably get into sports.
Yeah, I won't belabor it.
No, no, but we'll talk about the fact that we watched the Jays game yesterday at Sherbrooke, and
Yeah,
that's
I'll
probably
talk.
what.
I'll talk briefly about the Oilers, and then I'll mention the game, and then throw it over to you because you can ask questions or talk about your experience because that's It's not like you've ever sat through a baseball game voluntarily. So
Uh, yeah, just a home opener because it was a day game, so it gave me a reason to drink at 11 o'clock in the morning. Um, and we'll talk about your jinx, how you fucked up the game yesterday.
yep,
But there was a lot of gold in what we did there.
yep. So when we whatever minute you want to do this, like just go and we're back because it's the same episode.
I've got it handled.
All right.
I'm not going to go at, I'm not, I'm going to go, and this is episode 17, part two. And let me explain why.
Yeah,
And
sure.
like, but we already have 30 minutes. So,
Yeah,
and all we talked about was all about Mooney's week. It was a very heavy Mooney. Um,
yeah. I'll have
as it
to.
is, yeah, because you are the talent. I get it. And you know, it's not that you're the talent, you're the ego of the podcast. Um,
It must be hard for you because you love the attention and
and
it's like when everything's about Jimmy, and then I talk about me. It must be really like difficult for you to manage, like from a
yeah,
psychological perspective.
especially when it's our podcast and the majority of the podcast is about Mooney. Yeah, it really, it does affect my
Well,
ego and
they
my
don't call it
heart.
they don't call it the short and the bald of it. They call it the bald and short of it because I'm the headliner.
No, it's because you have the biggest bald head. Um,
Oh, like you really want to go there? I'm surprised you
okay.
don't. Thank God you have such a low center of gravity because I thought you usually I think you're going to tip over.
Okay, Lachlan. Um, you know how many times I've heard that?
Well, no, because I just made it up.
No, you weren't the only one. But let's get right into it.
Yeah,
We're
you want to
3 minutes in.
center yourself a little bit better.
Fuck yeah, you're a lot of fuck. I hate tall people.
That's better.
Uh, why does it look so? How much can you? What does you know? Is that better?
Yep.
Okay, let's do it. We're at
4 o'clock.
4 minutes. Okay, let's do it. Nothing to it but to do it. Three, two, one. Hey, how's it going? And welcome to part two of the podcast. We ended the previous part of our podcast at Sherbrooke Liquor. We had a technical issue, as I like to say. It was more to the effect of I was triggered. Like one thing that I've always respected, like about my friends and stuff like that is sometimes we don't know everything about each other. And there are things that we are still learning. And the thing is I have a trigger. And one of those triggers is you can make fun of me and I can dish it out. I make fun of you. But sometimes when a line is crossed, when you're making fun of groups that I'm part of, or even my friends, and when we were talking about the Bad Movie Club the other day, I was triggered because that group is actually very important to me. Uh, it all started back during COVID when we didn't have physical contact with people and we started, hanging out, drinking online too, and stuff like that. And when you don't have physical contact with other people, and during COVID, that was a thing. I was by myself. I live on my own. I had no physical contact with anyone except when I went to work. And so I got triggered, and it was no fault of Mooney. He just didn't, or you, Chris. It was no real fault to you because you didn't know that that would bother me. And out of respect for our friendship and each other, is I don't, I needed to pull away so I could reset and deal with it with a cool head because I do have a bit of a temper as okay, short temper. Yes, that is a midget thing, but we had to let it go. And so that's why we're on part two right now. So instead of being at Sherbrooke Pub like we were yesterday, I'm in my living room in front of my lightsaber collection, and Mooney is uh, at his kitchen table. And so this is the bald and short of it, episode 17, part two. And now we left off with finding out what I did last week, which, yes, I hung out with Mooney, got stuck in his boat, like as we talked about. But the rest of my week, there was a lot of creativity in my
Can
week.
I can I
This,
just sorry to cut you
jump in,
off, buddy.
jump in, baby.
Yeah, we had technical issues because technically I was a dick. And Jimmy Jimmy filled me in. Jimmy filled me in on the group and
Dude,
on the cert.
dude, you just made me spit beer all over my computer.
I'm gonna keep
Our
trying.
technical issue is I was technically a dick. Um,
Yeah. No, and
uh,
I didn't know the whole story, and it actually sounds like a pretty cool outfit. And on the surface, it's pretty funny because it's like,
yeah,
but you and I have no trouble hanging out because we go to fun places, and it sort of takes the sting out of you having to hang out with me. But when you, when the premise of the group isn't necessarily that shit hot, the people must be awesome. And so yeah, without knowing everything, my apologies if I went a little too far. It was on the surface, it was funny to me, but anyway, that
it,
sounds like a good outfit. Maybe one of these
yeah,
times I can sit in.
yeah. If any of them liked you,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Which is pretty fucking unlikely if any of them watch
but
part one.
but but yeah, you know what? And the thing is we're friends, and when we do, because we all have our moments where even best of friends, there are times that we hit a nerve, and being able to shake it off and still be friends is very important. And this podcast is important to me. You know, you're kind of important to me. Um, I need the contrast in hair. You know, it's just one of those things. But no, like, it, yeah, like you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. If we
But
were at the pub right now, I'd probably try to give you a hug and you'd kick me in the nuts. So
yes, I probably would have. That's like, see, that's the stuff that we know about each other. Is if you would have tried to give me a hug, and I probably would have headbutt you in the nuts. But see, that's why we're friends. So other
you're
than
weak.
that, yeah, other than, okay, so get back to my week. So last week was kind of a creative week because for one, you're going to see it on this podcast. If you see, like, with the video, or even on, like, everywhere that you get your podcasts, you'll see that at the beginning of our podcast, we always have a video with pictures of us together doing things, or whatever. And I create those videos. I created a new one because we're, you know, almost 20 episodes in. So why not? Because we've got more memories hanging out at places um, like the Sherbrooke pub, like, the place at, uh, Chateau Louis.
Julian's
We've
Klondike days,
Julian's Klondike days. There's all kinds of
Joe's.
stuff. We
Yeah.
we do actually hang out from time to time, and so we share that with the world because want to know more about us. So I created that video, and I actually made salsa this week. So I've always tried different things using fresh vegetables. I used my air fryer. I roasted like my tomatoes and onions and jalapeno peppers, and then made my own salsa. And next week, when Mooney and I get together, and I'm at his place because he needs a friend uh, for a few days, so I'm bringing some homemade salsa for you there, and it's fresh cherry tomatoes, fresh jalapenos, the whole nine yards, and you'll get to try that next week. And other than that, really didn't do much, just those things. But and of course, hung out with you at Julian's and got stuck on the damn boat, which was entertaining for all.
Me.
Yeah,
I was trying to tell people, but no one was around. Hey guys, come here. You got to see this.
like at least if you were like my other friends, they would have at least tried to get like instead of just sitting there watching me struggle, you could have at least pulled your camera out and got a video or taken some pictures. Like be more present in life, okay? Like if
Yeah.
you're gonna see me, if you see me getting stuck doing a normal thing, get pictures. There has to be evidence because people don't believe. No, that there's no way that happened. They're just exaggerating. No, there's no
No, it's not gonna
exaggeration in
happen.
my life. No,
I was so
there
present.
needs,
I was so present. I didn't yank out my phone. I was
yeah,
too
and then
busy thinking of ways
in,
to help you after I was finished
after
laughing.
you totally ignore the fact that there was ladders everywhere we looked, but no, you just decided to let me struggle. Um, so yeah, that was my week, and it ended, which was basically yesterday when we were at Sherbrooke Pub watching the Jays game, and we had a great time. And there's an Oilers game tonight. So now that we kind of got into that, hit me with sports, baby.
Well, for the Oilers, they're not 1-1, which is one win, one loss. They're 1-0-1 because the first game of the season against Calgary, they lost in overtime. Well, actually, they lost in a shootout that went pretty long, maybe eight shooters. But they were up 3-0. They were playing the game that they should have been playing defensively with some structure. They looked pretty dominant until about halfway through the game, and then they sort of took their foot off the gas, and Calgary capitalized. Couple lucky goals, and then Stuart Skinner, kind of shit the bed on the tying goal. But we still had 19 minutes to get it back. We didn't, then lost in the shootout. So that was the first game of the year, which is actually I'm not that disappointed because it reinforces to the team the importance of playing the way they did, which they did the next game against Vancouver on last Saturday, and it was a pretty dominant effort by everybody. No power play goals, empty netter, and two 5-on-5 goals, which is what you're looking for, and a very, very sound defensive effort. So put on the Oilers. They play tonight, like you said. Stan Bowman, the general manager, was pretty busy last week. Signing Jake Wallman, obviously McDavid, Matthias Ekholm, like some important blocks of the team, but he also signed a free agent, Jack Roslovic, who hasn't really caught on at 28 years old. I think he's on his fourth team, and that doesn't usually bode well. I'm not what you'd call optimistic, but he is playing his first game as an Oiler tonight on the second line with Nugent Hopkins and Matt Savoy. And I hope for big things. I expect less, but I'll be more than happy to be wrong and watch him seamlessly fill in. He's an excellent skater. Um, some people have questioned his effort, so we'll see. I'm optimistic. And then we watched the Jays game. The Jays, unfortunately, after like a monumental series victory over the Yankees that only went four games when all the other ones went five, uh, we're now in the conference final, or the ALCS, as they call it, the American League Championship Series. Surprisingly, having opened the first two games at home, they're 0-2. We watched game two yesterday together, and I was happy to watch it with you, although I probably bored you with like stats and telling stories and stuff. I could have said way more, But hopefully you enjoyed it.
But the thing is, though, is one thing I noticed with hanging out with you while you're watching sports is if I ask you a nonsensical question and you're really paying attention to the game, I I I get the look of I'm trying to watch the fucking game. Can you talk to me during a commercial? You don't say it, but it's a again learning. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll wait till the commercial to ask him what I'm thinking, or write it down and ask during our podcast, so that you can actually watch the game because you do enjoy watching sports, as some of my other friends do. I'm not a sports guy, never have been, and I watch socially. I go because it's a reason to go. It gives us a reason to go to a bar and get drunk. Is watching sports. It because it makes me feel less like an alcoholic if I have a reason why I'm drinking. So
Well,
that
yeah,
and
like we did sportsing like during the playoffs, didn't we? Didn't we take in some games together?
yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
we did. And then
and I should say, like when it comes to baseball, one of the things I like about baseball compared to hockey, say, particularly when you're socializing while watching the game, is like baseball is way more of a pastime. Like it's not like nonstop action till the commercial break. Like typically, like like most pitches don't result in a hit, for example. The best batters are only swinging 300 plus if you're lucky. So 30% of the time there might be something going on. Um, so you can talk even during a pitch or whatever, but because it's the conference final, like or the championship series for the American League, I tend to want to see every pitch. That you get like at least 20 seconds between, not to mention commercial. But yeah, I had my eyes glued. I was still listening. I just wanted to see that pitch. Like
yeah,
if
no,
it
no,
was
I'm
if it
not. I'm
was
not.
game
I'm
like
not
100 of the regular season, we'd be talking nonstop.
like I'm not discounting that. I just know that you were invested in the game. So while play was happening, let you be. So with that, you know, talking to you during that, I have a few questions, especially about the baseball game. One of which is one term that you used quite a bit yesterday that I didn't quite get. What is unflappable? You kept saying unflappable.
Well, unflappable is like you're not going to be impacted by what's going on around you. Like you're locked in. You're not going to be flapped. Like um so like for example, like we were saying, like with a pitcher, I'm sure that that's when I use the term most often is, a guy might get a home run like we saw in the first inning of yesterday's game where Trey Savage, who's a 22-year-old kid that started in A ball, playing his fifth professional game. He he allowed a 3-run homer and went back to pitching like we saw him pitch like since he got here. And that means that he's not going to be impacted by, like the 3 runs that he allowed, and he's not going to be, like he's not going to go in the corner and start crying, or like not going to let it impact his game. He's unflappable. He's impervious to his surroundings with regards to what he may or may not have done right or wrong. He just
So
focuses on the
in,
next
in
pitch.
so inflappable means he retains his focus,
Hmm. Yeah, he's
so he
locked
doesn't
in.
lose his focus.
He stays
Okay,
locked in. Like
as
Grant Fuhr with the Oilers, for example, back in the day, he was renowned for being unflappable. Like he played golf on game days, game 7 of Stanley Cup final kind of thing, guy. And he'll let in a goal, but he goes, I'm not going to let in the next one. He was unflappable.
but here's the thing. So with the pitcher that you talked about where he let the first 3 runs happen. For those who are listening who weren't there with us, that wasn't the pitcher's fault. I blame you, Mooney, because, and let me tell you why. Because you actually said, you know what, he's doing pretty good, not letting a run through yet, and then all of a sudden, boom, he gets a triple, and it was your
Literally,
fault.
literally the next
It was
pitch.
The words left your mouth and the pitch left his hand, and then all of a sudden
It's a home
we're
run.
down by three. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was your fault. So Mooney, you got to quit saying, he should be proud of him. Yeah, don't do that. You jinxed the whole night. If it wasn't for you, we would have won. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Andrea says that to me all the time when we watch hockey. Like Andrea's awesome. We watch sports together. She's the best. Like she likes baseball, hockey. She's even watching football with me now, which I can't believe how lucky I am. And she knows her shit too, but she's very vociferous about the jinxing too. And sometimes I do it. Like there's some stuff that you don't say. Like if a goalie hasn't allowed a goal and there's 10 minutes left in the third, the last thing you ever want to do is say shut up, for example. And I like, those are things that we all know. But if you're locked in and I'm like, like so and so's having a really good game, and then fucking shits the bed on a play or whatever. Like I have to be more conscious of that, even though I don't really believe in it. Um, I don't, like, uh, I don't necessarily believe that I have the omnipotent fucking power to control what happens in a game. But by the same token, if that even as I don't believe, but even if there's a tiny possibility that that exists, I don't want to feel responsible for the outcome. So having said that,
It was your fault. It was
I
your
read
fault.
online
Like a
today
hundred.
that there was a pitch before a Rosarena. I think it was going to be the last out or something, and uh, Savage would have got the strikeout. Instead, he walked, um, and it was a pitch that was clearly like you watch on TV and they have the batter's box and they show you on the screen. It was a strike, and the guy called a ball. In fact, I read today where that guy called 22 wrong, and the last time someone did so poorly, it was him, the umpire, I mean, and or the ref.
Yeah,
And
as you called it, the
yeah,
ref.
well, I was just watching hockey the night before, so fuck off. Like, but and also, by the way, you mentioned earlier, the game's going on, and it looks like you're annoyed when I ask you questions, and I don't think that's true, except for maybe when you ask me how many innings are there, how many periods are there, or something. Like,
No,
I'm like,
I said,
the guy's ready,
I
the guy's in his wind up, and you go, so how many innings or something?
no, I said, is it nine? I said, is it 9 innings in a game? And you looked like I shit on your foot.
I
Like,
didn't look. I wasn't mean. I was
no,
surprised at your by your
it
stupidity.
was a mix between surprised and annoyed. It was like, that was a dumb question. Like, you didn't use the words, but it's just, I felt the vibe. And I don't know sports. Like, and for you to call the umpire a ref,
You knew
because
that. You knew
you
you
said,
knew that much,
you,
and you fucking
no,
came after me. You
because
wouldn't shut up
you
about
go,
it.
you go, yeah, the ref pulled that, like, called that wrong. And I'm like, aren't they calling umpire? Or is that, and you went, yeah, but why did you say ref? And you go,
I
but
just I, it's just a weird time of year. We have baseball, hockey, football. I was watching NFL game on Sunday morning, and the day before I was watching the Eskimos. By the way, who won against Winnipeg, and they're still in the playoff race, albeit not really. The chances aren't great. They don't control their own destiny. Even if they won all their games, they have to expect other teams to lose. Won't get into it. Point being, um, I was watching the Eskimos the day before, and then I was watching the Seahawks um, Sunday morning, and I have Trevor Lawrence in my fantasy league, and he was my quarterback, and they were at two downs, and they muffed it, so it was like third down, and I thought, oh shit, they got a kick, and luckily no one was around. I didn't say anything, but um, they actually get a fourth down in football in the States. And I'm so confused because all the sports I'm watching, it's a bounty if you're a sports fan right now. Because like I said, especially with the Jays in the playoffs, you're literally watching baseball, football, hockey. Like Saturday, the Eskimos had a game in the afternoon, and the Oilers played that night in Edmonton. And I've done it once or twice. It happens maybe 3 times a year. Um, so yeah, forgive me for not for switching sports, but it happens. I'm not making any excuses. I called the ref, the umper ref. My
Yeah,
bad. But
and
you had
I
no trouble. You had no trouble coming after me.
I
And then you say
actually
I was like dick
almost.
to you. Then you said I was a dick to you. Like fuck, you made the inning comment, and I let that slide. I wasn't even the only time I brought it up since was here.
But the difference is I don't know sports, and you do. You pride yourself on a sports guy. You have a sports segment on this lovely podcast, and when you call an umpire a ref, it's like me. It's like me calling Yoda a Sith. It's like it's wrong on so many levels. You should actually be ashamed of yourself. Like I should almost pull sports out of this podcast because if I caught you like screwing up that bad, can you imagine that people that actually listen to this podcast trusting our sports guy and he's fucking up like that? Like I would stop listening. Like like
Yeah,
if I
hang
was
on
a
though.
sports
I'm
guy.
gonna correct the record here. You go, oh, you pride yourself on. I don't pride myself on anything. I'm not arrogant. I don't consider myself an expert. I just like watching sports. So I'm not, and point of fact, like I said, when you said the inning thing, I respect that. I'm not gonna go, oh wow, you're not part of the club of guys that know sports. You dummy. Sit over there. Like I don't do that. So fuck you with the proud shit. Like, you know,
Oh, bite
hit
me.
the brick.
Uh, lick my ass.
Mister, how many innings in baseball? At least you knew
Okay.
innings, so I'll give you that.
I at least didn't call them periods, or quarters.
Yep.
Is there 9 quarters? Like if I would have said that, that would have been dumb, and I would have been ashamed of myself, but I didn't. But on a different note, so
Yeah.
the last Elks home game is actually Friday the 24th of October. We've been talking about it on this podcast that we need to go to one.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not against it. We should
And they
look at
play in
it,
Calgary.
even though I don't like the name change, and they'll always be Eskimos to me. But the only thing, and that might be a really important game too. You never know. Like if things swing the way, we might get a wild card spot. So yeah, well, let's keep an eye on it. The only thing that I have to say about that though is um, that's my
And the
sister's
game
birth.
tickets.
It's my
Oh,
sister's
that's your
birthday.
sister's.
I don't know. They
Oh,
might
she
plan
doesn't
some
like you anyway. She likes other members of the family better. Like,
like you always say. She likes Jimmy better, probably.
no, I've only met her twice,
Yeah, but it's
I
my older
think.
sister. Yeah. You know
But
what? Let's keep an eye on it for sure.
yeah, we'll try to remember. But yeah, so that's sports for the week. Anything else you want to talk about? Actually, I had one more question. Okay, so you were talking yesterday during a baseball game, when with the Jays pitcher who did awesome until you fucked him up. Um, so you kept talking about resting a pitcher. Can you kind of, so is that like resting for the game, or is it resting for a couple of games? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, like so typically in the regular season, teams go with like a 5-man rotation, and they pay very close attention to pitch count, so that
Okay.
the player's arm, like the player's rested enough that he can, like you don't want to overwork the arm, or I mean, if the way you see these guys contort themselves, like if anyone's interested, watch a pitcher doing like a pitch in slow motion, and at the back of his like windup, that arm is like it's fucked up. Like you look at it and it looks like he's a contortionist. And a guy does that, not usually not more than 80 times in a game. Um, but it's very rare that a pitcher nowadays would do a complete game. And back in the day, it's only maybe the last 10 years where a guy um, you know, goes a whole game, and that's why teams invest so much in their bullpen is that they want to rest the arm. They want to have guys that are reliable that come in and can fill in the later innings, even after like the fifth inning, so that your starter isn't overworked. So you don't want to overwork
So
the arm.
how many pitchers do they usually have in the bullpen then?
Like anywhere from I don't know, like usually it's at least 10. And so, especially, but everything changes in the playoffs because you're not talking about like in the regular season, a 3 game series, like scheduled days off. With the playoffs, you just don't know what's going to happen. And like, even though it's a 7 game series, does it matter that Chris Bassett's healthy? So Chris Bassett was part of our 5 man rotation throughout the season. And Chris Bassett played the last 2 innings of last night's game because it's like, fuck, we're down 2, we're going for broke. All that matters is that like we rest our arms so that we're like solid for game 3 in Seattle. So like Chris Bassett might not even get, a game 4 or a game 5 to start. Um, the way that they have it mapped out is Kevin Gossman played game 1, Trey Savage played last night, yesterday. Shane Bieber, he's starting tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and then they're talking about Max Scherzer for Thursday, and then there's Friday in Seattle. I mean, what does it matter that you give Chris Bassett 2 innings in a game that we might be able to come back on, but why burn arms of your bullpen? One of the reasons why I was really optimistic about the Jays winning at least one, and especially the first one against Seattle, is that Seattle went 15 innings in game 5 in their series against Detroit. And they traveled the next day to Toronto, which is not a short hop. Like that's at least 5 hours, 6 hour flight from Seattle to Toronto. Not to mention the fact that they used pretty much every arm available to them in 15 friggin' innings. We should have had game 1. I don't even know what the hell, but they've got good bats. I don't know what to say, but you get my point. Sorry, that was a long answer about resting arms. I hope that makes sense.
It kind of did. Uh, it did make sense. I get it, but I didn't realize that there was that many pitchers in the bullpen.
Yeah, but you want them to be fresh as possible. Like you don't want to overwork their arms, and that's what I mean by resting their arms, right?
Yeah. Uh, okay. So
And that's what playoff baseball is, by the way. It's like there's a lot of unpredictability. Managers hate it because it's like you have to really adjust quickly to changing conditions that you can't foresee. Like tomorrow's game might go 12 innings, right? And it's like, well, not only are you worried about who's the best guy I can throw on the mound right now, but you're also worried about who's going to be available tomorrow. Like we're playing 3 games in a row in Seattle tomorrow, starting tomorrow. So yeah, sorry,
yeah,
go on.
no, that's great. Uh, Nothing to be sorry about because I actually asked the question, and I do understand to a point where you were going, but again, I didn't realize there was that many pitchers. But now, one last question. So I can't remember which game it was. I think it was Saturday, the Oilers game.
Yep,
Okay, the first goal that the Oilers did, one of our players, I think it was Nuge. He knocked the puck, like it went high, but he knocked it in with his stick, like with the
yep,
part of his stick, and it was called.
yep.
And I was told by my friend it's a rule called the crossbar rule. What is that?
It's not the crossbar rule. It's the high stick rule. So by the way, yeah, you said one of the goals that he did. Tell us you don't know much about sports, without telling us you don't know much about sports. Nuge a couple 3 years ago did 100 points in a season.
No, I said it was. I didn't say what the goal that they did. I said the
Yeah,
goal
you
that
said
was pulled,
no. You said
pulled.
one of the goals he did was not allowed. Anyways, Doesn't matter.
Okay, it's like bite my shot. Yeah, okay, okay,
Anyways, so no, the rule is a puck is not, you can't knock a puck. In fact, in regular play, like even in the neutral zone, if you knock a puck down with a high stick, there's and someone on your team retrieves it, that's an automatic whistle, not a penalty, just a whistle. Point being is that you can't knock down a puck with a high stick, particularly it matters more obviously when there's like goals. So what happened was like Nuge, there was a puck in the air, Nuge knocked it down, the puck went into the net. Does it count or does it not count? And the rule is it's a high stick if it's above the crossbar, which is typically what you say the shoulder, right? So where contact is made with the puck and it goes into the net, was it was it made above or below the sort of invisible line that is the crossbar? So they don't call it the
okay,
crossbar rule. They disallowed the
okay,
goal because it was knocked down with a high stick above the line that was delineated by the crossbar.
okay.
And they watched the
That
slow motion and all that shit. In fact, that Calgary game that we lost in shootouts, like the first game of the season, they scored a goal like that, and the league allowed it. They went upstairs, they went to the situation room, guys reviewed the video, and honestly, like watching the broadcast, it looked to me like he made contact with the puck above the crossbar, but the league ruled that it was below, so the goal counted.
okay. So I feel much better about my life now. Now that I know that, and actually, that's so that people understand. Like we actually talked about this before, because when we get into sports, you sometimes just go full bore,
Yeah, yeah.
and the thing is it's kind of like my old radio show. I just sit there and go while you're
It's
talking, and I'm not even listening.
the
And
Homer blank
so
stare.
it's the like, can I go for a pizza? Like what's the, like
How
how
much
long is
time
this
do I
going to be?
have? Yeah.
So me interacting by asking questions, especially if we watched the game together or if I've seen something about it and I don't know, you as the expert, uh, that's a low bar on this podcast.
Yeah,
You
I'm
as
not
a
an
sports
expert on
expert,
anything. I don't claim to
but
be an expert.
you are on this show. You are the sports expert on this show, so, which with the other fact that I don't know the difference between an inning and a quarter, or whatever. Like,
You you go you go like earlier, you go like when I fucked up on the sports thing or with the ump and the ref or whatever, you said that'd be like if I said that Yoda was a Sith. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Like, and in fairness to you, Jimmy, and I respect your Star Wars knowledge, uh like fair fucks to you, you get full points for all the stuff you know about Star Wars. That is not like anybody listening is going, what's a Sith?
okay,
Whereas most
there's
people know, even you know an inning, not for nothing.
okay. Now that we dealt with the sports, now let's deal with something that I like to call the bald and short of it alcoholism program. So what it is
I
the
didn't see
other
that in
day
the
when
note.
you kind of did, I just renamed it. So back when we were hungover, when we were putting the boat to bed, and we were negotiating which month we should go sober. I think we should try and go sober for a month. And we're like, yeah, yeah, we can't take October off because of Halloween. And like we can't take and because of the baseball and the hockey, like especially with the playoffs. We can't take November off because that's my birthday month. You
Month.
definitely can't take yeah, you definitely can't take December because there's Christmas and New Year's, and so we have kind of decided that probably the best month. Actually, I just realized we can't go sober in January because technically New Year's is in January. So we have to, if we're going to take a month off drinking, we might have to wait till February.
Well, luckily,
because,
yeah.
you know, it's just one of those things. And it's a short month. So that's an easy month to take, um, off because you got one, a couple less days. I'm just throwing that out there. We have decided that we want to take a month off drinking, and, we can't take March off because St. Patty's Day, like there's a lot of very important, and
Like,
we can't take the summer off because we might go on the boat. We might go to a music
I
festival.
that,
Like,
that's one of those things where people go like, maybe you need help. Because like it's like I'd love to quit drinking, but I
there's
actually
so much going on.
I unilaterally create reasons to drink, or I'm compelled to drink, and all these things. So it's like, like maybe subconsciously the goal of this podcast was like, like I need a reason to drink on Monday. So like, you know what? It's let's both like mutually agree that if
We'll
we
try
go,
for January.
yeah, but if we ever say to each other like, I can't we can't do January because, or we can't do February, it's a short month and we have two podcasts.
We
Do you know what I
can't,
mean?
because
Like,
the thing is though is if we do take, you know that's right, we can't, because our podcast is a drinking event. Like, so we'd have to cancel our podcast for a month. Like,
I'm
you
just
know,
saying,
thanks, thanks for, making sure that, we think before we not drink. Um,
yeah, yeah, I don't like, we should just leave it at that, but it is pretty funny.
it is. Uh, so one thing that we've brought up a couple of times on this podcast is we've written in our notes, like we have prepped, like just a ballpark of where we of
Yeah,
different
I'm gonna
things that
look
we
at
want
that.
to talk about.
I'm gonna look at
Uh,
I
I've,
like,
I've,
sorry, I like the part two. One thing, like we have to talk about how long we spend talking about our week. I don't know, like we don't get a lot of feedback. Maybe we spend too much time on it. But the one thing I liked about part two, the idea of a part two, was that it's kind of more free for all, and we can tackle some of the episode notes that we never talk about. But
yeah, and
one
but
of the
also
things,
part one was basically your week, but
yeah, and like we gotta, we'll figure out a way to mitigate that maybe. But um, since we're kind of free for alling it, which I really don't mind at all, when we were hanging out at Julian's last Friday, um, you did your usual you did your usual stick where you're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Mooney. And he's like, I'm like, take your best shot, kid. And you go, I would, but I would hate going to prison because I'd be
oh,
passed around like a pack of smokes. That was fucking
like like
hilarious. I wrote that down. I
like
put that in the notes.
no, I
Passed
know you
around.
did. Like think about it. If I go to prison, like people would take turns. Okay, whose turn is it with the midget now? Like,
I wouldn't mind that.
just
Like, I'd like if I
I
like,
would,
who knows? Well, no, I think I'd be okay. I can take care of myself. But um,
but not
like
the midget.
the
You're not a midget.
no, like like who knows? I mean, maybe next year I'll have to go in because of like some kind of speech law violation or something. Like, not that I'm that flagrant, but what I'm seeing going on with speech, people like moms going to jail, worried about their kids or what. Anyways, if that ever happens to me, I'd be like, I'll like, who's my cellmate? If you're my cellmate, that would be awesome. Like, I don't have to worry about my
Yeah, you
laundry. I don't have to worry about
it,
like
no,
how clean
you
everything is. Like,
just you just you if you had me as your soulmate, hey, if you guys protect me, you get the midget for a week. Like,
no, I'd protect
that's
you.
that's what I that's
I
what I
protect
mean by
you, but
being
then now
passed
I don't
around
have
like
to worry about. I don't have to worry about like my bed getting made or nothing. It's like, I'm like,
only if you took it.
if
I
you
can't
went to
do the pop
prison,
up.
like as long as they let me like run my business, the whole point is that like it'd be like a symbiotic relationship. Like I'd have it wouldn't, and luckily for you, it wouldn't involve some of the more unpleasant circumstances you might have to encounter. You know, slash like getting passed around, but
But the thing is though is I wouldn't look at you as a protector. Like you're just a big marshmallow. Like the big guys that are the head of the jail, they could beat you up. Like you're no protection for me. You're just a big pillow. Like
I don't know,
I
like
don't think you can fight. I don't think you can fight as good as you think you can.
yeah, maybe you're right. Like I'm
Like
not
I'd
gonna
have to be your
not gonna hold
protection.
I'm not gonna hold myself up as a tough guy, but I'm pretty good at negotiating. It's part of my job. Like, whatever. I mean, it's not something that you want, but I don't know. Maybe I'm the guy that goes to prison for speech, and then I, you know, ask for you to come in, and I could use you as a bargaining chip or something.
Uh, it's again being. Hey, do you want the midget for a day? Like he's yours. Um,
It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you.
okay,
Oh my God.
but
I'm kidding.
also during our day at Julian's. Something else we realized because we've been putting it in our podcast as notes, as double takes. We figured out what it is because you and I were hanging out at the bar and we're busting balls and I'm calling you a pussy and you're calling me a midget or whatever. We're just sitting there just deeking back and forth and people always do the double take. Like I think they do it because they're like, okay, do they actually like each other? Is there going to
Yeah,
be a fight? Like, like,
yeah.
like, like we're sitting
But
there
that
beaking
wasn't
back and forth to each other.
that wasn't the genesis of the double take. I think that because
That was part of it.
like you should move your camera a little bit because I want to see your left arm or whatever, right arm, however it works. Anyways,
Okay.
no, the double take, I think the genesis, it's like one of those times where we hung out and maybe forgot what we meant when we wrote something down because we're talking about all kinds of stuff that night. But the double take, I think that the genesis of the double take line in our episode notes was um like you're a midget. Like it is what it is. And it's like people
Yeah.
like they don't you're part of a rare breed. Like there isn't like you can walk around the grocery for like I don't know 20 visits and maybe see one. But like does that happen to you a lot and how do you
I never see one. Like I've been to the
yeah,
grocery store a bunch of
yeah, what
times.
I'm
I never
saying.
do. But it's
Yeah,
just
like
if you go, you might see one and it's me. But
you know what I'm saying? So it's like the question is, do you like you obviously get the double take where like
oh
you're
yeah,
and people are like, right? And how do you you manage? Obviously, you manage it really well. Like one of the things I
I
respect about you. But
I actually have fun with it. Like it's just who I am. I actually kind of have fun with it. Like if I see a kid and I'm walking in the grocery store, as you mentioned,
yeah,
and we're walking and the kid goes, then, then I keep walking and then I pay attention with my ears. I pay really, and I hear the kid go, "Hey, mom, look at that little man, or look at that wee man, or look at that tiny guy, or whatever." And I laugh almost every time because sometimes, like, and then the parents are like, "No, no, no, that's me," and or whatever. And I did that once the
hey,
other day.
you had a really good one that you told me yesterday, like off air or whatever, um, about that kid that asked you about the beard or something. I don't know, like
Yeah,
with the
like
vegetables and whatnot. You should tell that story.
Oh, no, yeah, I was at work and this kid goes, "You're really small. Why are you so small? And you have hair on your face." And I'm like, I didn't grow that much. And I'm like, you know what it is? And they go, "Why?" And I said, "Because I didn't eat my vegetables." Oh, and then the mom jumps in.
Yeah,
"See, I told you you need to eat your vegetables." And
yeah,
and
that was
then I
awesome.
get it. Then I get a thumbs up from the mom going,
Yeah, and you
and
give one of these, like, yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
and
Yeah.
and he ate his vegetables.
Well, you hope so, but presumably
Uh, it was at a restaurant, and if you say, "Hey, if you
you're
don't
not
you
you're
eat
not-
your,"
you're not that objectionable.
no, like I'm not.
Maybe he wants to be like you and he doesn't eat his vegetables. Who knows? Like you're not that objectionable. Like despite all my mouthing off, you're a good dude. Like, but that was a great response. That's awesome. But yeah, the double
Yeah,
take, it's a fucking thing. Like,
I get it all the time, and sometimes I don't notice it, but then there's
yeah,
other times I notice, and I just wait for a response, especially when a kid goes
yeah, yeah.
and just sits there and stares. My favorite was it was one of my favorites, and I kind of felt bad because it was a kid kind of staring at me while they were walking, and they kept looking back and kept looking back, and they were going into a store that was close to closing. And in the malls where they have the big glass door that
Or like
is
the the
half,
the,
and
the
that's, yeah,
accordion,
where
the
it's,
accordion
yeah,
plastic that they would,
or
yeah,
or the glass doors that kind of slide in like at Walmart and stuff like that.
yeah.
And the kid wasn't watching where he was going. He was following his mom, but he was like this. And I'm like, "Oh, there's gonna be a collision. There's gonna be and he ran right into the glass door because he followed his mom, but
He was
was
looking
in the
back.
wrong position and
Yeah,
and just went right into the glass door. I I did everything I could to not laugh when the kid
like
when the kid
I thought
when
you'd
they
say I did everything I could to stop him, but I was too late.
no I
That reminds
when
me
he
of
got
me at
up
the boat.
when he got up and started and walked in and he was not in earshot. I was laughing so hard I almost stopped breathing. Like it was the highlight of my week. I'm a horrible person, I get it, but
No, like yeah, it reminds me just to like somebody in my life that I was talking to this past week. Um, I was trying to explain to them how liberating it is to lead your life in a moral, respectable, responsible way in accordance with your values or whatever. But you know, keeping yourself in check, uh, making sure that you don't piss off the guy in the mirror tomorrow morning, kind of thing, and 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 how liberating it is to not really give a fuck about what other people think. Like, and not in a disdainful way, but just a way where it's like, you know what, the person I'm most concerned about disappointing is me, because we all have the angel and the devil on the shoulder, a la Fred Flintstone and all that stuff. And yeah, it's liberating to have that mentality where it's like, it is what it is. I just want to be the best version of me, right? So cheers to you.
but you know what, man? Like we all, if anyone says that they don't need personal work, that they don't need to change something, are in denial. It really is. Like we all,
100%.
we all can, we all can improve in one way, shape, or form. But I will never stop laughing at kids staring at me. It's one thing that actually keeps me sane is because I don't look at it in a negative way. I look at it as, "Oh, shit's gonna get funny." Just wait a minute. Like
Yeah. Actually, I was
like
talking to our boy. He probably reached out to you today or after I talked to him or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Um,
Yeah, I haven't.
yeah.
I actually, I'll
Anyway, it
reach
doesn't
out
matter.
tomorrow.
You know what I'm
But yeah,
talking about. Anyway, I was talking to him today, and he was telling me about how he was trying to help somebody, and he'd give them opportunities and give them opportunities, and the whole point was like that person is like I don't know, like at the end of the day, the whole point of the discussion was that like victimhood is like just a really good excuse for somebody to not take personal responsibility. Like, it could be you name it, like Mark Carney, Donald Trump, my local counselor, the oppressive regime, however you want to characterize it. It's like the more layers of people that you say keep you down is allows you to not take personal responsibility. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean?
If you go, hey, I didn't do that because so and so didn't let me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
like
like
we're
that's
under a Nazi regime. We have a dictator or whatever it is you come up with. The point is that
like
like if you're a problem solver in your life, like the first question you have to ask is how much control did I have over this negative outcome? Like what could I
and
have done to make that situation better? Instead, they go like, well, this never would have happened to me if we had elected a different official or if we had, like if we'd done this or whatever. And it's like that whole idea that, um, like painting yourself as a victim is a very, very good way to ignore your own faults, if you know what I mean.
I I totally agree with you because I actually because I was talking to my cousin the other day, kind of dealing with that, and the fact that I'm struggling to find work now, and I'm on EI, and I'm working on some stuff, and trying to the the you know what was the biggest issue that I had with with the fact that I didn't find a job is the fact that I was getting severance from basically like December until May.
Yeah.
Why didn't I use that time to look for a job? Why
Yeah.
didn't I
Why didn't I
use that
grind?
time? Like why didn't I push and try to find something like it? And I could say, well, woe is me. Like I don't have, no, it's not like, it's not, the world didn't hold me back. I was like, hey, I have some time off. I did in my mind. I, for the first little bit, I felt defeated because I was laid off, but
Yeah.
I let it,
You owe yourself a couple weeks of warning.
but, I let it hold me back.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the thing. I let it stop
Yeah.
me from looking. I let it from, I should have a full-time job. And with that, I am working on stuff now. And you were kind of hinting at that with the previous conversation, but I let it hold me back. And I can't blame anybody else but me. Like I could have, like, I could be in a different situation if I put the effort forward, but,
And actually, I go ahead, but
I didn't. And
yeah,
so I could blame, you know, anybody. I could blame you. Oh yeah.
but I
Yeah, but we
actually,
started we started the podcast during that time, so I didn't really want to put time into looking for the work. So
well,
Mooney, it's
it's
your
okay,
fault.
make an
Um,
excuse or whatever. It's like with the
but
drinking, ish. But I gotta tell you,
uh,
like I was talking to our friend, and like, there's money to be made, dude. And
yeah,
I'm excited about that opportunity. Um, so we have like make sure you reach out to him tomorrow. But
yeah,
and
yeah,
we'll
like
keep
even
our listeners updated or whatever. But
but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna keep it like it's, you know what, it is what it is.
Yep.
Don't blame other people for your life is the moral of the story.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, you have you have a part to do with it. If something goes wrong in your life, it's not other people's fault. There could be other people that propagated the situation, but you had a part in it. If not, you're a weak, like
Yeah. Don't be
you,
judgy or whatever. But
no,
here's
but
my point.
you can control your own actions.
Yeah.
You, that's like, you
Like
control your own actions. It's how you react to things that gets you places.
yeah.
You can
And so
react,
like
react as a victim and go, oh, it wasn't my fault. Or you can go, okay, shit happened. What can I do now? I control what I do. I can't control the world. I control me. That's,
yeah.
that
And then
takes it from a victim.
that's why like I always say when you run into difficulties or something didn't work out the way you wanted it to, and you arrive at a conclusion. Like the first question I always ask is, how culpable am I in my misfortune? Like what could I and by asking that question, it's like when I find out that shit's my fault, like even like yesterday, I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. I can fix it. If it's directly within my control, I can fix it. So that's why I ask whatever it is that I encounter. I'm not going to go, well, if it wasn't for the economic climate or the misfortune or all the boogeymen that whoever created, like I'm ignoring the fact that I could easily solve my problems by taking personal initiative. So we're in alignment. I think we got that down. So I
But
wanted
I just like to quote very astute uh singer, Billy Ocean. When the going gets tough, the
the
tough get
tough
going.
get going.
And that's, see, that that actually that actually leads into our next segment, which we were, I can't remember what we were doing, but we were talking about company slogans that are still stuck in your head.
Oh
And
yeah.
like, yeah,
Oh, like
like
this something
we
came up
have,
over beers as usual, but I'm glad I brought that up to you because nobody like when I found this shit out, and this is like 30-year-old news, maybe 40 when you think about it. Barry Manilow. Go on, Jimmy.
okay, no, actually, okay, speaking of Barry Manilow, you said that he came up with some of these slogans that you sent me.
Yeah.
Were they
I
all
read
him,
that
or
somewhere. I
was,
read that somewhere online. You can AI that shit. You can grok it.
I don't grok. I like you, like I use my hand. Um,
Anyway,
okay,
the point is
but
that Barry Manilow is like, despite being a beloved singer songwriter, um, and like, I mean, he still pulls shows. And actually, next time I go to Vegas, I'm gonna go see Barry Manilow. Like just because of what we're about to talk about. But he actually started his career in advertising, and he wrote jingles. And
okay,
like talk about an underutilized talent, like and we were somehow we landed on that. I'm not sure where. By the way, Chris Kozak, housemaid at the Beak House back in the day, his nickname was Manilow because he looked like Barry Manilow. Awesome dude. He's in Japan. Friend of the podcast.
he he.
Big hello to Manilow.
That was weird. Just just inhaled uh a mosquito.
All right.
Ah,
There's a pause button, but did you meet
um,
Cozy? Did you meet Cozy when he was here in the summer?
I I think I did. Didn't we go to Rubes?
Yeah, yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
Cozy go to Rubes?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you met Coach. He looks like Barry Manilow, eh? Like a little bit.
He kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
actually,
what
as soon as
happens.
you said
That's
he looked like Barry Manilow, and then I inhaled a bug. Um,
that's what happens in
but
our outfit. If you even vaguely resemble a guy, that's your nickname. You
yeah,
know.
and I was gonna say you kind of look like Jabba the Hutt, but that's rude. Um, and I look like an Ewok, but
Anyways, uh, we talked about Barry Manilow, and I was like, "Did you know that Barry Manilow wrote?" And then we kind of Googled it, didn't we?
yeah, like we have a list of slogans here, but but that actually kind of led to a couple of days later after we talked about that. Um,
No, no, stop talking. Like you want to move
okay,
on. I want to like since we're
no,
talking about it,
no,
I'm gonna do it. Like you pasted it on the
no,
thing.
no. Okay. Oh, actually, all the ones that you sent me, I was just googling it. Like I was trying to
That,
fill time
that's
while I was
all
googling it.
Barry Manilow,
Those are
right?
all the ones that you sent are Barry Manilow. So you
Okay,
deserve a
so
break today. You
you deserve a break
McDonald's.
today, McDonald's. I'm stuck
Uh,
on Band-Aid. Band-Aid
yeah,
stuck on
is
me.
very stuck on me.
Like a good
Uh,
neighbor, State Farm is there,
you don't sing
right?
it, just read it, dude.
No,
Like we
because
want to keep our
it's
listeners.
a
No,
fucking
no, but it's
jingle.
just
Relax.
no,
But
no. I get it, but it's just you can't sing. Um,
no, hang
you're a
on.
drummer.
KFC. I don't know what that one is. Like, can you tell
That
us what?
that's grab a bucket of chicken. I don't remember that one.
Okay, but Dr. Pepper. I'm a pepper. He's a pepper. She's a
You're
pepper.
pepper too. Yeah,
Wouldn't we like to be a pepper too? Right? I don't know the join the Pepsi people. Feeling
I don't
free or
remember that one either.
yeah, and give your face on the. I don't know, but I don't care. Like even the ones that we laid out, they're like iconic. Like people remember those jingles. I mean, there's another podcast in Edmonton, like the sports guys. Um, uh, Ryan Rashog, Jason Strudwick. It's called Got Your Back. Like
Okay.
uh, friend of the podcast, Mike Bayrak, and I often listen to them post game, and they're great. Like they're a wonderful podcast. It's like really in real time. If you're watching a game and you want to figure out what happened beyond what you think happened in your head, and you have like these guys that know hockey more than me
Yeah.
because I'm not a proud hockey guy thinking I know everything. Anyways, um, yeah, like so like we were talking
Like
about that.
there's a lot of slogans out there, but it was originally brought up because you said, well, Barry Manilow did a bunch of these, and a couple of days after we talked about that, a slogan. It wasn't a jingle. It was a slogan popped into my head, and it was Canadian Tire. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
Yeah, but it's
Was their
not like a
slogan? It
song.
was no. It was a slogan. And but why? Because that kind of links with drunk thoughts with Jimmy.
Okay, hang on.
All right, no, okay,
I want to close the
okay,
loop on the got your
on the
back
slogans, okay,
podcast. Like they have like Weiss Johnson is one of the sponsors of Got Your Back podcast, and they have this song. It's like very Newfoundlandy. It's like Weiss Johnson, whoa, 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 hey, and whoever did that is probably some local dude or whatever. But that person deserves like fucking money because they go, oh, the Weiss Johnson. So they actually have they created a new website, Weiss Johnson Jingle or something. You know what I mean? It's like
okay,
it's earworms, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah. So it's because songs do it all the time. They get stuck in your head and you can't get them out.
Yeah, like I'm not much of a songwriter, but I do more than just play drums. Fuckface, like I play guitar and try to compose music. But it's like maybe I'm like maybe we should get sponsors and I can write like a Barry Manilow. Well, no, I'm not going to give myself that much credit, but the jingles, like the little things, the earworms, eh?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, go on. I
No,
wanted to close that loop.
no, no. So hold on.
Yeah, everybody wait because Jimmy's not looking in the camera and he's not focused on what's important, which is like the dialogue that
I'm trying
happens.
to find the Weiss. I'm trying to find the Weiss
You don't
Johnson
have
ring.
to. I said enough. It's okay. Like
It,
they already got enough advertising that they pay a lot of money for. They don't need us to.
no, no,
Anybody who's listening.
because I've never heard it, so I was trying to find it
All right, well,
to see
we'll
if
talk about it after. You'll see what
we'll,
I mean.
we'll, we'll do that post game. Um, but so the whole thing with the slogans from TV and stuff like that, it popped into my head is there's more to Canadian Tire than tires
Yeah,
was a slogan back when it was what 80s. It was an old Canadian Tire slogan. But like my dad's fucked up like a lot of things in my life. One of them is the words to songs or
don't say
names
it.
of places.
Don't say that about your
No,
dad. Your dad is
but
like
there's no. Okay, just there. My mom said the same thing. Like he's ruined. But this is how it is. He changes the words. So my dad changed the name of Canadian Tire to Crappy Tire.
crappy tire. Yeah,
So
he's
the
not the only
slogan
one.
is the slogan is there's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
Yeah,
My dad's version is there's a lot more to Crappy Tire than crap. And I was at Canadian Tire just recently, and that was stuck in my head. All I could think of was there's more to Crappy Tire than crap.
yeah,
That's what I mean is he's ruined songs, he's ruined slogans because he changed the words, and and they're like I can't hear them any other way.
yeah. Well,
Like
you know,
it's
it's up to
just,
you. I'm just saying,
but
like the same way, like if you can write a jingle, like a Barry Manilow level jingle, you're a rock star. And actually, he actually kind of became one.
Like,
Like,
like I thought, I thought of the perfect slogan, and this was one of my drunk thoughts. I actually thought of the perfect slogan for the Bald and Short of It podcast. Go big or go bald, or think big
like
or go bald. Like
so, but like the failure aspect. So it's like achieve or fail, and you're like achieve or be bald. Like just
exactly.
total racism against bald people.
No, us midgets, we think big,
Like
and
accomplish big things or end up like a bald motherfucker is what you're saying.
I didn't use those exact words, but I was kind of hinting. Um, but yeah, it's think big or go bald.
I'm actually mining more of our like oh you have drunk thoughts. I can't wait to hear them because
No, that was one. The next one is kind of a little deep.
are
I
we
don't know.
actually gonna like maybe we should do two parts every week. Um yeah, like I think do you think that maybe this week we might have conquered the notes? So like if you're listening, we have notes and we have like 10 different subjects that we might talk about. It's like a very lucid, we're not scripted, we're organic. Like even today, we didn't pretend that yesterday didn't happen or nothing. Like we're always authentic, but we do have notes and usually we don't hit all of them. Oh, I have one. Jimmy, Halloween costume.
Yes, because I was just going to say that we haven't touched. There's a bunch we haven't talked about, but yes. I am actually going Halloween shopping.
Last segment.
I am going Halloween shopping, like hopefully tomorrow, because I like dressing up for Halloween. When I was in the radio, I used to dress up for basically everything, and so I'm trying to come up with a costume that would be funny as a midget, as a midget dressing up as a specific character,
Yeah, but
but
hang on a minute. Like if you
no,
don't mind me saying, like it has
okay,
nothing to do with you being a midget or nothing. Like I
okay,
am
oh,
not.
like.
Just stop. My no, my point is that like I'm not a costume guy,
No kidding.
despite the fact that I like to talk, like like particularly with my friends. Like I don't really want attention or anything. Like don't worry, I'm not like setting you up or nothing. But
Your
you know,
friends. Yeah.
yeah. Like anyway, the point is that like um. I've never been a costume guy. Like when I was a kid, my mom was awesome. Like she would actually sew like shit like no, like she wouldn't go to the grocery or like like Spears or Zellers and get the rubber bullshit. Like I was Chewbacca one year and she had a belt, and like kid across the street
Uh,
was Darth Vader, and his Italian mom sewed a calculator to his chest. um
Oh,
Better
my mom
times
was
for
the
sure.
same way.
Yeah,
My mom was the same way.
but
Like she
we
would go
talked about this a little.
to a secondhand store. My mom would go to to Fabric Land and and buy the fabric. Like I was
Yeah.
Batman
But
and my sister was
when you're
Batgirl.
a kid, like everybody does it, so you got to do it. Like it's almost like mandated. But like as an adult, it's like I don't really do Halloween. Um,
Yeah, but you're not fun.
I don't really want attention. Like I don't like
Yeah, you're not a
I
lot of
just want
fun.
to hang out anyway. But like I've done things like Andrew and I dressed up as a mafia couple to watch Goodfellas at Garneau, which is called Metro Cinema, but like the old theater, which is awesome. Like anybody that's listening, check out what's going on at Metro and go watch a movie. Like sometimes they do old movies, like at Christmas they do Die Hard. Like they probably do Christmas Vacation, but I always go there every year for Die Hard. I bring my kids. Like it's an old school theater. But one time
Yeah.
they were doing Goodfellas, and I actually dressed up like a gangster. Like a Adidas tracksuit and like business socks and flip flops. And
Uh,
like that I
I,
did. Like I'm like I don't care that that I'm doing that because you're part of the Goodfellas crew. And it's like all right, that's
I
you.
would have, if we were friends back then, I might have made fun of you. And, and I do the
And
same thing. And
I
I
would have
would judge you.
accepted that. Yep.
I would judge
So
you.
anyway,
Um,
I talk too much. Halloween. Let's go, Jimmy.
I'm going Halloween shopping and I think I want to go Star Wars. Especially with all the Star Wars stuff coming
Wow.
up.
You're gonna blow the minds of everyone that listens to our podcast.
But I know I have lightsabers. It's either, Star Wars or maybe go ninja and actually bring my real sword. Um, but
This is the whole thing too that we've been laying off of, like Jimmy's arsenal.
yeah, like
Stay tuned, dear listener, for next episode.
s-
We
stay
may
tuned.
or may not talk about Jimmy's arsenal.
Actually, actually, I got an idea. So for the special edition episode that we're going to be doing at the Mooney domicile when I move in next week, that could be
Yeah.
a perfect time to bring the arsenal.
don't bring all that shit to my. You have so much stuff. Don't bring it to my house.
No, I'm only like I'm not going to bring I'm not going to bring all 200 knives. I'll bring 20 or so knives. I'll bring some axes and nunchucks
No,
and
we should get
quarterstaffs and
one at your house.
oh wow, yeah, look, you're very negative. You just sucked the energy out of the room. It almost hurt my feeling. Um, but so the moral of the podcast is yes, this is a two-part episode. We did some at Sherbrooke Pub yesterday, which I love Janet at Sherbrooke. Like they treat
That's the
us
best.
awesome. And we always get our spot and
Not
even
like Jimmy,
during
if I may, like
yeah,
yesterday, uh, if you're a patron of Sherbrooke Pub, Janet who runs it, uh, she worked for the government and she decided she was going to run her own thing. It's been 10 years, and everybody like if you go there, like I don't go there every week or maybe once every couple weeks, sometimes twice, but then the next week, whatever, it doesn't matter. Point being is that like she's such a nice person. And even like yesterday when we were hanging out, she's like, "Do you guys want like a turkey dinner? It's free." But every Sunday, Janet cooks a dinner for whoever's there. And there's like sometimes it's not a regular thing, but there's guys outside. She'll give them sandwiches, and like it doesn't take long to realize that you're surrounded by really good people. Like even the wedding I was at, like Jody and Carmen.
yeah,
Uh, like Matt and Jamie were there. And they're guys we know from the pub, but we're like just good people. So not we them. You know,
yeah. But the thing is though is a place like Sherbrooke Pub. Um, one thing that blows my mind about her and
Janet.
is
You mean?
she Janet. She knows everybody by name,
Yep.
and I have a hard time remembering your name. Like I was
Well,
like I
you
was
drink too
I
much.
was but I was talking to my friend and I go, yeah, my friend Mooney, and he goes, what's his first name? Mooney. Like
No, in real estate, what that actually is known as is like goodwill. So goodwill. So the point being is particularly when you're talking about a neighborhood business. So if you're ever gonna buy a bit like God forbid, but if Janet ever decided to like sell that business and like all she literally created a community. And if you're gonna buy that business, the goodwill, you can actually attach a cash value. Like you have to add like, it all depends on like if I was gonna buy Janet's business, for example, I would have to like make a condition of my sale of buying that I spend a month with her, meeting everybody, her saying Chris Mooney's a good guy, like that kind of thing. Because
yeah,
goodwill is
because if
actually it's an asset.
because if the patrons that usually hang out there get the impression of, oh, you kicked her out, like so you took over her business, you would not
Yeah,
get those patrons again. If they feel like she was wronged
yeah,
with the you taking over, you wouldn't have those regulars,
yeah. There's
which
that.
which regulars like that are there every day, or
Yeah, yeah.
or
Like like
or, or
like
at
one of
least
the one of
no.
the, one of the fellows that I actually met there. I was at their wedding. We've done other things together. Watched Sinatra shows together, gone for dinner together, or they come to our house. We know them from Sherbrooke, and there were other Sherbrooke people that were there because it's just such a welcoming community. And then
Yeah,
TGI Fridays takes it over. It's like we'll probably just hang out at each other's houses.
Yeah, it's like it would have to be someone that
Yeah.
understood and that the people that love Janet
No,
understood that
everyone
she
loves Canada.
but that's what I mean is if it was taken over by somebody else,
Yeah.
if they felt like she was given the shaft,
Yeah.
you'd lose them.
I'd build a
Like
bar in my garage and like break even. Like wouldn't want to make money. Just spend time with the people that subscribe to that idea of like just being friends.
I don't know if I would go to your bar in your garage. Like we have a friend that has a great bar in his garage that
Oh,
if we
yeah,
and
right.
that's an awesome bar. And I would go there over you of just
Yeah,
saying.
me too.
Unless you moved unless you moved
I would
his
go
bar
there
into
over
your
my
garage.
house. No, they will never be as good as our friend's place. Anyways, Halloween
But
costumes.
Halloween costumes, I'm looking this week. I'm gonna come up with some options. And for next week, I will actually give my ideas on this podcast and get voter and Mooney's feedback.
But yeah, like you're one of those people, and then like I'm not being critical.
I have to dress up for Halloween.
Like you're
I
like. By the way, not for nothing. I think do we agree that we're going to Sherbrooke for Halloween?
yes,
Yeah.
and
So we're going to Sherbrooke.
you better dress up other
I'm not
than
gonna I'm not
Chris.
gonna dress up.
Okay, yeah, no, you have to do something more than you're dressing up as Chris Mooney from the Bald and Short of It podcast.
No, no, no,
Like
no.
you,
I have a really good a good thing where I'm like a like basically Hendry Hill in prison. Where I have like an Adidas tracksuit or blah blah blah. Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out between the two of us. But I know that's a big thing for you. Um. So, but you're thinking like I want to do something that's not Star Wars.
no, I kind of want to do Star Wars, but it's just I might because last year I dressed up as Chucky from and I
Yeah, that's
scared
good.
people.
Yeah.
And I actually was awarded at work, and
Why don't
someone
do that
walked
again? Like get after
and
that.
and someone walked into work, and I was coming around the corner dressed as Chucky. She cried and left. Um, I thought about feeling bad, but I'm like, okay, that's a win. Um,
That's perfect. It's perfect. Like you can't handle like guys joking around. Like I'm
but
glad I don't have to talk to you for you to fuck off. Like frankly,
but yeah, it was one of my favorite costumes. Um, but I but the thing is
wow.
it was one of my favorite costumes. But I
Yeah.
hated the movie. I hated the movies.
I never watched them.
Like the movies freaked me out. But
Whatever. That
it
was last year.
was.
What do you have in mind for this year?
I don't know. I'm gonna actually go to Spirit of Halloween tomorrow and get some ideas.
Yeah.
So, get ideas. I modify and
I challenge you to find like a like we're gonna be hanging out on Halloween. It's Friday. But I challenge you to find like an outfit that is not Star Wars.
okay.
Yeah.
How about you and I tomorrow? We cut out an hour to go to a costume store and you can do
No,
candid video. Nope, just shut up and listen.
can't be tomorrow because of my truck. Amazon
Okay.
guy hit my truck.
Okay. So which
Next
day
week, like
works?
in a week. In a week.
Okay, we got time. Okay. So Let's do next Tuesday.
Sure.
Or let's do it before our podcast on Monday.
As long as I got my truck, I'm good.
Okay, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Do you know what I'm thinking right now? Like just like top of my head is Blues Brothers.
I I have a nice suit, but I actually have a really nice suit that I don't want to party in because it's very like it's a
Yeah.
customized suit.
Okay, whatever.
Like,
Everybody needs
but
somebody, but you know, it's up to you. That would be
but the
fun.
only problem is if you dress up like a gangster and I showed up and then all of a sudden we'd walk into a place and you'd pick me up and go say hello to my little friend and I have to make machine gun noises. Like,
I would never do that. You know that. Anyways,
yeah,
what else?
yes, you would. But
What else do we have on the docket? Like we're actually,
we're actually
I
at
think we're good.
we're actually at the end. I was just going to end the podcast by going,
Good.
this is the Bald and Short of It podcast. This is episode 17, part 2, and you will see all of it in its combined glory uh, coming soon to a theater near you
Love you, kid.
or on YouTube. And this is the Bald and Short of It podcast. I'm Jimmy. That's Chris Mooney. He's bald. I'm short. See you next time.